Can you stop the recording until the meeting starts?
I'm about to.
Joining and joining in time. I think we just give just 2 more minutes for a few more people to join, and then we start. And that's about 5 minutes past 6.
Yeah, I cannot see my video in the between the icon. It's only my.
Okay. Have you you don't see a video icon, do you?
Okay, now is
Okay. Good evening, everyone. We'll start in barely 2 minutes. Just giving some time for a few more people to join. Yes, we can see you.
Okay.
Hi, Roberto. How are you?
Hi, Yomi.
Good
Much
evening.
better in video
Yes.
than just listening.
Yes, much better, much better. We're just giving just 2 more minutes, about a minute,
Sure.
for a few people to join, and then we kick off. Just saying thank you to everyone who has joined so far. I have quite a number of people here. Thank you for joining. Tonight we'll be talking about universal homes and our very, very, very interesting technology with which we're using to build our apartments. We're looking forward to having a robust conversation and just really then take on whatever questions you may have. We believe that this will be a very, very educational time that we spend together. But also, it's also very important that for all our potential residents, as well as even just the general public, for everyone to know how and what it is that we're doing at Alara City. And we're very confident that by the time we're done with this webinar, there'll be a lot more clarity. But even more importantly, I think a lot more people will fall in love, not just with universal homes and the way in which we're doing things, but how this is reflective of the overall posture of Alara City as the, for lack of a better put it, the landlord of universal homes. So we'll start in just a minute. Thank you. I can see quite a number of other people joining in. Corriday, Ime, quite a number of other people. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's get started. So good evening once again, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time out to be a part of this webinar. This webinar has been brought to you this evening by Universal Homes and Alara City. My name is Yomi, and I'll be moderating this webinar. With me on the webinar, we have Mr. Roberto Atuso, who will be speaking to us primarily about the topic of the evening, which is really about universal homes here in Lagos, Nigeria, but even more importantly, the technology with which we're building universal homes, which is formwork technology, an innovative technology used in building construction. And as we go through the evening, we'll be speaking primarily about number one, giving you a bit more detail as to this, the technology called formwork, how it's been deployed, and obviously the immense benefits that it provides, both in terms of aesthetics, safety, durability, and everything else, vis-a-vis other construction types and patterns. But just by way of setting it off, I think it's important that we give proper context to our speaker, Mr. Roberto Atuso. He's Italian. I don't know if you can deduce that from his tone. But he's Italian by birth, but he's Nigerian by his music choices. Roberto is an avid listener to Nigerian music. He loves Nigerian music. His playlist actually makes me embarrassed in terms of how well a non-Nigerian loves.
More than one time, I can embarrass.
More than one time. More than one time, to be fair. More than one time, to be fair. He has a very, very, very robust Nigerian library, music library, and it's quite impressive. Roberto is a civil engineer, construction engineer with well over 15 years experience. In his career spanning, construction work across the globe and across the continent as well. He has done quite a lot of work, as I said, in Europe and quite a number of countries across the globe. In Africa as well, he has done quite a lot in East Africa, primarily in Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. And he is currently, as you can imagine, is here in Lagos, Nigeria, overseeing the marvelous work, which is Universal Homes here in Lagos, Nigeria. He's a director of Universal Homes FZE, which is the parent company, which is a company here in Lagos, Nigeria, that is promoting Universal One, which is the apartments we'll be speaking about this evening. And he's bringing the wealth of experience to bear in the construction and the development and delivery of the Universal One apartments here in Lagos, Nigeria. So, Mr. Roberto Atuso, it's a pleasure to have you with us. Good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you to everybody to join the webinar.
Yes, and so just before we jump into it, it's also important to mention that Universal Homes and Universal One apartments are in Alaro City. Alaro City is, so literally Universal Homes is in the heart of Alaro City. Alaro City is in the Lekki Free Trade Zone, is in the northwest quadrant of Lekki Free Trade Zone. It's on 2,000 hectares, considered on 2,000 hectares, and it's one of the fastest growing urban city real estate developments in this in the corridor here in West Africa, and it's one of the key growth drivers of the free zone, as well as the Lekki corridor, as we now know it to be. It's a well master planned city within which Universal Homes is resident, and I think it's in view of the alignment in terms of culture, in terms of aesthetics and master planning that both entities share, which has obviously informed the JV between ourselves and Universal Homes, which is now resident in Alaro City. Now, for the purposes of this conversation, obviously we'll be talking about Universal Homes and the apartments, and Mr. Roberto will be, in a couple of minutes, will be taking us into a bit more detail as to what it is that we're doing, and primarily speaking on formwork technology. So just to go right into it, right? I think it's important that we just start off with a general overview of the Universal One apartments. It's important to note that Universal One is an offshoot of a parent company in Kenya called Unity Homes, which has quite a lot of credibility and credentials in this industry, having used this same technology, which we'll be speaking to you about and showing you as we progress in the conversation. In Kenya, we've built and delivered well over 2,000 apartments, ranging from 1 to 2 to 3 bedroom apartments in Kenya, using the same technology and the same design principles and style, all of which are now also then being deployed here locally in Nigeria. So it's a very well-tested form of technology, and we'll be speaking to you about that in a couple of minutes. So over to you, Mr. Roberto. So just a couple of things. Formwork technology in this part, it's a pretty new novel technology in this part, and then we're undertaking to use this in the development and construction of Universal One apartments. Do you want to speak to us firstly about the formwork technology? What makes it unique? What makes it special? And off the back of that, I guess it's then to speak to why, or the things that make it unique and that have informed the decision, both by Universal Homes and Alaro City, to make use of this technology in the construction and the development of Universal One apartments. So over to you, Roberto.
Again, good evening, everybody, and really a great opportunity to talk to a quite wide group of people about our technology. Talking about formwork, we are not introducing something extremely new. The word formwork is known by, even for who are not familiar with the construction, but they have already heard this word about the formwork. So they say, what's different in this formwork that we are proposing? Basically, we have done a choice at the beginning when we started to enter in the construction industry. We have done a clear choice in which path, in which direction we are going to take for our construction. What we analyze, what we have done, it is something that is a typical process inside our company. We observe basically what is the standard of the construction in most of the countries of Africa, East Africa, West Africa. We find out that more or less is the same. And it's also something that was in place even in Europe many years ago. So what we observe that the most common, the 90% of the construction that we can say in East Africa, in West Africa, it is hollow blocks. This is the typical construction that you can find everywhere. Basically, the bearing structure, the part of the, in simple word, the skeleton that are sustaining the house is or the building, it is assigned to a certain number of column, and after this column has been erected, casted, and put in place, has been casted at the slab, the space between the column, it is filled with hollow blocks. In simple words, now means that all the loads, all the heavy, it is sustained by single few columns, and the hollow blocks, they have only the purpose to close the gap between the space. The hollow block, we know exactly how they are done. We understand what is the limit of the hollow block, the strength, how they are built, how the material it is itself. And we have done a proper research about this. When I say even building 1,000 houses, even if we start to have a problem of 0.1% of our houses, it will be a serious problem for us. We work on a large scale. So I say, which other direction we can take to the more appreciate even on the final finishing. So we decided to move to the concrete structure. We completely the hollow block. So our design and our realization moved completely to not a mass concrete, but a solid concrete. So to move in this direction, we have to find a way to contain the concrete during the construction. So this is the first step that we evaluate and we decide to take. In the opposite direction on the hollow block means we are going to do concrete. And in the moment that we are going to do the concrete, how we are going to realize all the feature of the house, I mean, the slab, the wall, the partition, the internal partition, external partition, and we came in the opposite direction, the needs to have a formwork. So we move again and decide which type of formworks now we are going to put in place. And the typical application that you can find around it is the plywood, which is the most common that is around here. You can find the plywood everywhere. But of course, the plywood, together with the cost of the plywood, has another downside, which is barely can be reused after 1 or 2 times. Means that you have to use this material. It is flexible. It is flexible in terms of use, but it's also flexible in terms of final shipping. It continues to deform under the load and need to be reinforced, so need to be prepared. Cannot be reused after few application, and it has some limit also the plywood. There is the big panel, another solution, which is also the formwork, which are known, which is the huge big panel. I mean, the size of this piece of a formwork, it is big, and it's difficult to be adapted to the changing in direction, changing in size, changing in height that you have in a normal house. So we have done our own research, and we find out that it's possible to find specific formworks, which are basically a huge puzzle in which all the pieces are combined together. And we find out that these formwork are reusable, and mostly these formwork they have a very clean joining. They have a very clean coupling, and they are giving a perfect final finishing of the house. So we move to the formwork, and we find out that a company that is building this type, that is manufacturing this kind formwork are based in Korea. So we tested this first solution in Unity East, which is roughly around 500 units. And we find out that it was performing absolutely well. And we decided to extend the same application, the same methodology to Unity East, which is in place now, which is currently in progress in Kenya. And the same has been decided to be used for Universal One, and Universal One, which is the project which is in place here in Alaro City, and the Unity One, which is another project ongoing in Kenya. So currently we have 4 projects which are using the same technology. This formwork made in aluminum that we have already ordered. They are already on site. We are already installing. And it will be
we'll show some
really
pictures.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll show some pictures very shortly. Thank you so much, Roberto. I think it's also important to mention that I think in terms of some of the benefits of the formwork technology, I think it's about precision as well. In terms of it's literally a prefab structure, which is then filled with concrete in place of the hollow blocks as you were speaking to earlier, and that ensures that it's the same exact precision that we're able to achieve with each and every apartment. Number 2, I think it's also about the efficiency and the speed of construction. I think you would want to speak on that very briefly. So it's also the fact that we're able to achieve very quickly and rapidly building efficiency. So we're not trading off quality while also ensuring speed of efficiency. You just want to speak to that for a minute.
Yes. Basically, you just introduced the first aspect, which is the finishing. We want to be the first company or the first real estate developer that when the name is heard is yes, I know them for the quality of the finishing, for the quality of the finishing. Basically, what is visible to the client, to the customer, it will be the final aspect of the building, which is basically the tiles, paint, the house, the windows. But the optimum result of tiling, the windows, opening, paint the door, it can be achieved only if what is below it is perfectly done, if it is perfectly square, if it is perfectly perfectly built up all together. So what we analyze again, we went through again through what is available in the market. We went back again to the 90% of the construction which is in Africa, and then to the hollow block. The hollow block by this nature has different sizes, as it's not perfectly vertical. After that you finish the hollow block, you have to plaster. The plaster is not uniform. The corner where the 2 wall and or the slab of the roof they are meeting each other, it is difficult. It's technically difficult to have the exact corner, the join in between the 2. So I say, how we can overtake this problematic? So again came in the formwork. This specific formwork, they have something special pieces, special component, which are specifically installed in the corner of the wall, in the corner between the wall and the slab. And this specific corner, they are perfectly 90 degrees. It is a huge block. It can only fit if the distance, the measurement are perfect in their installation. If it is not perfect, it doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit.
So you have to be forced to do the perfect square. You have to do the perfect verticality. You have to be forced. This what allow us that when we remove the formwork, the surface is uniform, because
perfection.
The surface of the panel, it is perfectly smooth and is perfectly finished. You can directly go to the what they call here the POP or the skimming, basically the surface finishing. Good. And then the corners are perfect. The windows are perfect. The door are perfectly 90 degrees, are perfectly vertical. Because another point that we have to talking about this procedure, this allow us to cast the entire house in the same, in one spot.
In one single, yeah.
Yes, in one portion of concrete, because the entire, the formwork that we have, it is the entire house. So when we are talking about pouring the concrete or assembly the formwork, means we assemble the entire house. So are not pieces combined together, but when the set out is done, when the alignment, when the wall, door, slab are putting together, we are talking about of the entire house. And this allow us to have door, windows, entrance, whatever.
In a uniform
room,
way, yeah.
Hallway, perfectly at the same, perfectly repeating one. This is one point.
Yeah.
Yes.
So sorry, Roberto, just before you go ahead, I think it's important at this point, if I could just play a video, just important how people, just before the video, I just want to show some of the imagery, purely because, you know, as you can imagine, you know, for people to know, the formwork is already here in Nigeria. As Roberto had spoken to earlier, these were imported from South Korea, and it's sites. As you can see on the screen, we're just literally, you know, showing you a couple of pictures of the formwork, literally being, brought from the containers and set up over the last couple of days and weeks. The formwork is already going vertical. So both in terms of the construction, the setup of the formwork, you know, and as we had discussed earlier, it's literally a prefabricated structure of the homes themselves, which will be filled with concrete and, you know, literally already take the form and the shape of a home. So just as Roberto was talking about previously in terms of precision, in terms of asymmetry, in terms of the aesthetic, everything, it's literally what we can achieve with the formwork. He was also speaking to earlier the fact that also because of the technology, we're able to, in terms of speed to delivery is heightened, and not in a way and manner that compromises at any time and in any form the quality, because just as he rightly said, it's about precision. So it's literally a fact that everything needs to be done precisely, and if it's not done precisely, the formwork literally doesn't stand. You know, it can't fit into the formwork, and I think it's that precision. Exactly. So it's that precision that is also being brought to bear. Also, just to mention that also the foundation has already commenced for the first block of apartments.
Okay, yes.
Yes, which would also be going vertical very soon, obviously with the formwork. So it just also mentioned that in terms of how this is also progressing and advancing, it's already taking form and it's already taking shape. Right. So I just thought to just show that, Roberto, you can just you were making one more point, and I'll just show a video as well, just for people to see firsthand even how this also operates. So just a video from one of our sister projects that you mentioned, Unity East as well, just to give people a bit more context. Well, you're making a point.
Yes. Yeah. What I'm saying, you want to go with the video first, Yomi, or you wanted that I move the next point?
No, you can make a point. You can make a point.
Yes. Okay. So one aspect of the final finishing, it is the needs to be able to replicate the finishing, because we can, with that type of formwork, we can perfectly realize one level. But if you watch the general layout of the house, it will require level by level, floor by floor, to have the same position of the window, the same position of the opening, the same position of the duct cover. So it is necessary that in the construction, we are be sure that all the windows are aligned, all the windows has the same size. So it is nice to build only one level, but this has to be repeated for each level. So this formwork, which is forced again, not only to be combined and perfectly fit horizontally, it is built in such a way that has to be fit even perfectly vertically. When we are moving the formwork to the next level, even if the formwork doesn't fit the bottom level, it doesn't fit. So in this way, we are perfectly repeating even vertically the structure. The first picture that has been presented, you can see our floor, it is ground +3. So it is not nice if you see one window is one position, one window is 3 centimeters away from that position, or the opening. It is not nice. This particular methodology allow us to achieve this. Another point that is interesting that make this thing.
Hello, Roberto. Okay, I think we lost Roberto for a second. While we try to get him back on, I'll just play a video as well that just shows us a bit more about
making after that the hollow block between the column. You have to plaster, you have to rectify any alignment, you have to do the opening, and after the plastering you have to do the POP. Our methodology instead, we place the formwork, we align, we do the plumbing and the fittings inside the formwork. So we don't broken, we don't demolish, we don't open any track in the hollow block. It's perfectly the original wall. So we are not that we are doing something and then we are going to chiseling something
to change it.
Allow to pass the
Yeah.
So basically we place our formwork, we put the plumbing and the fittings and the air condition and all the electrical connection boxes and everything, and we pour the concrete.
Good.
After that, we wait the right time to remove the formwork, and we remove the formwork. When the formwork are removed, the surface is ready. Of course, it needs some repair, some finishing, some smoothing. It will be done, but basically, it is the wall already finished. We apply the skimming and proceed to the next step. This is a huge saving of time on our side.
Great.
Of course, the plumbing, electrical, and when they are embedded in the concrete, it will be very problematic for us. So we have certain steps along this process in which we require all this installation to be tested before to be embedded in the concrete.
Yeah, which I think speaks to the fact that I think you have there's a checklist of almost, if I'm not mistaken, well over 30, a checklist of 30 points before a single universal home apartment is handed over. Just to make sure that every single box is ticked from quality control and quality assurance point of view, which is pretty impressive. Quickly, Roberto, let me just play the video. There's a video about formwork, just to show. This is for our audiences, and just before I do that, I noticed that there are a few hands raised and questions want to be asked. If I can just please ask that just after this session, we'll be given an opportunity for about 10-15 minutes for questions and answers. So if you don't mind, if you can just hold on with your questions, and we'll take them immediately after this. So I'll just play a video, just give greater context. This is, for example, in one of the projects in Unity East in Kenya. But it just shows you, number one, how the formwork is constructed, and just gives you a sense of how it operates. So that just also helps give a bit more context to, literally how it's set up. And just for I see your hands, Michael Correa, Oluwatosin Yomi, will come to you very shortly. But it just shows in terms of the video, just shows a bit more, or gives a bit more perspective to what Roberto had been talking about, just in the sense of how it's literally a prefab structure filled with concrete, and just ensures everything from asymmetry to precision to quality. Obviously, when we talk about concrete, it's filled with concrete, so in terms of durability, I think it's also a given that it's a very, very durable structure. We also talked about the quality assurance steps, a checklist of 30 points, just to ensure that the quality of the finished product is consistent and it's durable, and then obviously in every sense it ticks all the boxes as the case is. Roberto, just one more question just before we move to the questions, because we have quite a number of people who are willing to ask questions. I just want you to just speak, obviously in terms of, the choice of concrete and whatnot is one thing, and obviously the choice of formwork. But you also want to speak to some of the key features. You want to speak to some of the key features, because Universal One apartments are within, it's literally an enclosed community. You want to speak to some of the features within the Universal One apartment, some of the amenities that would also be coming to Universal One apartments. I know for one that the earthworks have already started. And also generally in terms of the mapping, I know that there are quite a number of recreational facilities, there's a park, and a couple of other things. You just want to speak to that just for a few minutes.
Yes, the compound, which is 70,000 square meters, is 7 hectare, the entire compound. It is split in two pieces. That's in simple word, left and right. And in between the two, which is part not only of the Universal One, but it is a requirement from Alaro City for all the real estate, they must have a green area available to the resident. This is part of it. It is open to everybody. So it is not just an estate filled with concrete, but the entire area, specifically for our estate, has a green area inside.
So 3 acres. It's a 3-acre park, yes?
Yes, there is a park, which is public park. Of course, is accessible by all the owner of the compound, but it is part of it. This park divide the two blocks, so it give us a much more privacy between one area and another area between the two. That's why we allocate this one specific. Yeah.
And how many blocks, how many apartments altogether are we looking to construct?
The entire estate are 576 apartments, standard apartments, which is intended as a double bedroom, 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom. So all the apartment comes with a 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom, the minimum standard, what we define as a standard in our. The combined one allow the client to combine 2 units to obtain 3 and 4.
Bedroom. Okay. Sorry for cutting. You talk about the amenities. Yeah.
So the amenities come with the park. The park will be prepared for gym activity. Our intention, we will see them later.
The gym.
Yes, it will a gym in the open space. This will be intended. Let's see what the management company will decide at a later stage, because the compound will be managed at a later stage by a management company. We will evaluate if it's preferable a football pitch, or if it's preferable the complete green area and leave some space for gym, for relax, for the community to gathering around this park. It comes with a swimming pool, which is honestly, I have to say, it's a serious and nice swimming pool. It is not just a stamp square piece of with the water inside. I saw it is the same size that has been built in Kenya, and is nice. The gym itself will come with a corner for the food, a small corner for the gym. So the people who spend the entire day in the swimming pool, it is not just the swimming pool itself. You can spend where you can have a coffee, you can relax, you can make a talk, you can go to the gym. So it will come in a nice arrangement. On the long run, this compound will be completed by a small commercial area. So if someone, without leaving the compound, inside the compound, can access to small things without taking the car and moving to another place. Here we can see the swimming pool. You see, it is not just only the swimming pool. It is surrounded by place where you can sit, you can lay down, you can spend the entire day. And you can see it's perfectly at a short distance from the apartment. So this is for the main amenities. Then all the house, they're coming with the air condition. So the air condition is part of the provision. So Alaro City will provide 24 hours power. So we are expecting to have a 24/7 power. There is no generator, so no noise, no diesel, no added cost due to the cost of the diesel, which is fluctuating, because this is now is touching a general construction of the Alaro City. The line of the gas that are going down to the Dangote refinery will be diverted to provide a proper power station within Alaro City. So it will be powered 24/7 by directly from Alaro City. So no longer the noise and the pollution related to generator installed for each apartment. Security is provided at the gate. And so it will allow to enter only the one that has the access to enter at the unity. It will be with all the unit, all the apartment will come with a security door, the block door, which is another security door at the entrance. It will come with a reserve or a storage of 1,500 liters of water. The water will be anyhow provided by Alaro City, but anyhow, there is a storage of the water on the roof. We remove completely the instant heater that is possible to find in most of the application, in which you can see the instant heater installed inside the bathroom. And then you have 15, 20 liters of incredible hot water, but we replace this one with 150 liter storage tank, which is separate from the main drink or potable tank, which is installed. Each installation for each unit, so each unit comes with all these 150 liters are, the water is heated by solar. So there is no cost for this hot water, and is available at yet. So I mean, it starts to be quite a number of features which are present there. As I say, the air condition, it is installed, and the bathroom are fully furnished. So whatever you can see in the bathroom, it will be provided, and the house is partially furnished. I mean, you will find, yes. Okay. So basically,
with the fittings,
you just enter and you place your living room, that is basically your bedroom, and you can enter in there.
Great. I think it's amazing on every level. You know, internally we say that universal literally is value, and I don't think it gets any more valuable than this in terms of you have an apartment that comes with its own fittings, with state-of-the-art amenities, and within a master plan city. It's literally a dream on many levels, and it's a steal and a value proposition that I don't think anyone would ever turn a blind eye to. Also, if you look at it through the fact that, number one, beyond the fact that it's a beautiful opportunity for persons who are looking to live in a serene environment, it's also the value it offers in terms of you know, investment from an investment point of view, and the returns on investment being a dollarized product, and a lot of the opportunities there. But just so that we give a bit of opportunity to those who want to ask questions, I think we'll just take a few questions now, and thereafter we'll speak to that. There's a question from Olubenga Ajala. Here he asks, are there any considerations for solar and long duration batteries and integrated Internet of Things devices for energy efficiency? I'll take that question again. Or did you get the question? Take it again.
Yeah. Sorry, I hear the question about if there is any provision for the solar, and this is the main question.
Yeah, long duration batteries. Then yes. I think by extension, is also asking about if there's going to be integrated Internet of Things devices for energy efficiency. That's the second part of that question.
Okay, I can answer. I can say yes in this specific moment, but the purpose of the show home, which is already in place now, it can be visited by everybody, is just to show what we are going to do. Now, I noticed that this question, it's come up continuously. It come up often, and we take the opportunity in specifically for this period, because The design, the project is already done, is already in place by 1 year. But if this is a continuous request, for sure we will start to put attention in this. For this specific, it is something that I want to implement for this project, because something that it is makes us different from, we would have said, for different from the other. We are always thinking something in continuous. If we can improve something, we will apply.
Apply.
It can be something in technology, or the improvement can be something from the client, because of this request to have something integrated in the solar means that is the moment to think, to start about this one, because it is present. For sure, we will think something about this one. That can be for the common area, because of course in the entire building has a common area, and then even the cost for the common area has somehow to be divided through the community. Currently, we have the light, which is a solar powered, but this is a common things now. I mean, the internal arrangement of the compound are a solar light, so there is no extra cost for the extra cost for the people paying, or be sure that there is enough or there is power to power the normal light. So they are already solar light. We are thinking 2-3 different solutions. We want to understand now if it's more attractive to the client, if it's something that will benefit directly the user, or the one that are buying the apartment, or if it's something that will be more oriented to the community. I mean, something that will be part of the common part of the building, of the common part of the area. So something is in place. It's our intention to open a kind of, I don't have the word in English, sorry, a kind of competition if someone can come with this idea. We are touching some, immediately some architect or engineer that are coming out from the school and say,
as part of the CSR.
Your mind is much fresh than mine, which I'm fixed in all the methodology, but the young, they have a very good idea, and they can come up and say, this is something nice that can be placed in this kind of building. Yes, we are open for sure to this kind of technology, absolutely.
Okay, cool. We also have a Oluwatosin Iyaomiye had been has had his or hands raised for a while. Do you want to take a question? Just granting permission to speak. Oluwatosin, you can please go with your question.
I think the mic is off.
Yes. Okay, while we're waiting for Oluwatosin, we have a question from Mr. Jibril Mohammed Sani. He says, what is the distance from Dangote Refinery and the technology building maintenance, how costly it may be? Those are the questions. What's the distance from Dangote Refinery?
Dangote Refinery, I can even say that who knows better the planning of Alaro City itself. Has been mentioned at the beginning, we are in the northwest quadrant. So if we split this area in 4 pieces, we are in the northwest. Dangote Refinery is in the southwest quadrant. Currently, the road bringing here to Alaro City to the junction, moving to the Dangote Refinery, it is completed. It is at a very, very well ahead completion stage. That road can be easily drive in 10 minutes, no more than 10 minutes. It's absolutely very fast. Now, from the junction to Dangote Refinery, the road is a little bit tricky, but I know that also there is the project to redo that road. Let's say when it will be in a perfect condition, it can be half hour, no more than half hour. The Dangote Refinery on the long route, basically from the north. But there is another, I know there is another project in which the Dangote Refinery will be directly connected to Alaro City.
Toll bridges.
And in that case, it will be drastically reduce the time. I would like to say 10 minutes from the Dangote Refinery, you can achieve Alaro City.
Yeah. Okay. And then the second question is respect to the technology. So building maintenance, how costly it will be. So in terms, I think, and it's tied to the next question. There's another question, so I'll take them together. It says, I discovered that we start well after some years. Okay, we are saying we discovered that projects that start well after some years are always abandoned. And how often can this property be maintained? So I think they just want us to speak to maintenance.
We work in two ways in this one, and this is visible. Anybody can come to and see and visit our design, and we work in this way. First, there is a preliminary design in which we are aware about two problems. We are near the sea. So the salty area, the salty environment, we don't have a factory, we don't have acid attack due to the discharging in the sea of pollution. But of course, the area, the environment, it is a salty marine environment. So the first things that we have done, we increased the cover of the steel. Instead, we increase the distance from who are not familiar with this one. The steel can get rusty, and basically the only way to protect it's increasing the thickness of the concrete. Who embedded the steel inside. So this one has been increased to achieve a better resistance, a better durability of the concrete on both sides, because our structure, different from the hollow block, it is concrete with the reinforcement. The reinforcement is double, external face and internal face. So it is quite unusual to have the entire house done with the concrete with the reinforcement inside. So we work on this way. Increasing the cover of the steel, at least to guarantee the minimum that is required here in Nigeria is 50 years. So this one, it is one that has to be maintained and has to be committed by the constructor. 50 years, it is what it is required. We increase the quality of the concrete, because it's not only the matter to cover the steel, but it's even necessary to increase the quality of this glove who surround the steel. So the quality of the concrete has been increased by one class, moving from 25 to 30, even if structurally it is not necessary, but it is necessary to be sure that all this salty environment does not penetrate the concrete and reach the steel. The problem is when it reaches the steel became rusty, grows in volume and start to push out pulling the concrete. This is what you typically see around, that there is the spalling. I mean, it is pushed out. So we work in this way. On the second way, we work on the management company in the maintenance. We will be present within the management company for the next 20 years. We know very well that beautiful estate, when it's handed over, they are not well maintained, they will abandon it at itself. And we understand the importance of the name. I mean, we want that when they talking, they don't talk about the private, they don't talk about the management company, they talk about universal one estate. So the name will continue. So what we want is we will be present and we will provide guidelines to the management company, especially in the how the estate is maintained for the next 20 years. After that, when you say, okay, now we understand that you now it is clear how we maintain our building, we can hand over to you. So our presence is there, and our presence, of course, it is related to the cleanness, to the painting, to the external finishing, whatever is necessary there. For sure, not abandoned at itself, because anyhow, the state well done is our business card for the future project.
Great. Thank you so much, Roberto. I think this is just more of a request. Oluwatosin Yayomi was saying, please can this video be shared after this meeting so we can listen to all you explained again? Most definitely, we'll send an email to all to everyone who registered and participated in the webinar with the video, so you can rewatch that, and then also it would also carry additional information and lines, phone lines, email addresses, if you want to get to know a lot more about Universal One apartment. Thank you so much, Roberto,
Yes.
for being a very, very exceptional guest. Thank you. It's been a very, a really informative time and session, and thank you for taking us through formwork, the formwork technology. Obviously you've gone into detail as to why it's an excellent choice. We've touched on how it's a very, very durable, sustainable approach to building construction. It's also a very efficient one in terms of timing. In terms of precision and everything else that you've spoken about. Thank you so much for that. I think it's given a lot of clarity. Thank you also for sharing even the current progress of the work, the fact that the formwork, is already here in Lagos, Nigeria, imported from South Korea. You also mentioned the fact that we already have professionals who are currently setting up the formwork, and simultaneously the foundation is currently being laid for the first block of apartments.
I see. The update that you show in your picture was last Friday,
Okay.
and we expect by this Friday to have the entire house
fully vertical. Beautiful.
It's a process which now it is in the learning curve for the carpenters that are joining us in this experience, but it is quite simple. Need a little bit of attention at a certain point. But basically the entire house is up in 1 week. So by the end of this week, we expected to have the entire house visible to who would like to see this methodology.
Beautiful.
It should be completed and available for the visit.
Beautiful. So I think on that would be a perfect time to then mention that if for everyone who is on the call, who is on the webinar, if you want to book a site visit to literally come see for yourself, don't take our word for it. If you want to see for yourself the formwork in action and see how quickly and how efficiently this works, you are more than welcome. You can we'll just put in the comment section, and also we'll send an email, a detailed email to everybody who has registered and participated with details for further engagement. And if you have any additional questions, but we'll be more than willing, more than excited to take you take you on a site visit to see both the formwork structure, but also to see the show homes here in Alara City, or to give you a sense of how the 2-bedroom apartments and 3-bedroom apartments will look like. So you see for yourself a bit in terms of both the aesthetic, the design principles being employed, at least to an extent, and everything else. And I believe that this will also be a very good time to then mention to everyone that obviously the apartments are still for sale. We for the first block of 96. We're already almost fully sold out, and moving on to the next few blocks in the next couple of days and weeks. Just to mention that
they have also the chance to see the formwork, to see the show home, and see also the site, because the site is a few meters from
Exactly. And also just to mention that there's also at the moment what we call the early bird discount, which ends in the month of September, where on the purchase, when you purchase Universal One apartment, which starts from about $62,700, you could get a $5,000 discount actually, and up to $14,000 in discounts if you pay 100% for Universal One apartment. So if you're interested, once again, we'll be sending you an email with details, both email addresses, phone numbers, and I think it's on every level and by every metric. This is one opportunity that you should not miss out on. It's designed thinking at its best. It's future-proof development, and it's something that definitely, from the point of from an investment point of view and from a live work play point of view, it's one of those investments and one of those homes that you should key into. So on that note, I just want to once again thank you, Roberto. Oh wow, we have last minute questions. Let's just take them. Someone says, please share the video on your YouTube. We definitely will do that. A question from Mr. Tunde Akonde. He says, I'll be interested to have a view of the block at the shortest possible time. Most definitely, sir. We'll reach out to you. And we'll schedule a time for an actual site visit as early as this week, if you're available. Dr. Antonia Geme asked, would you be doing detached houses? We believe that may be something that may come up further down the line. But at the moment, we're building blocks of apartments at the time. Currently, a block of 576 apartments. That's what Universal One is. But definitely, you can keep your eyes peeled very soon. We will let you know if and when we begin to develop detached houses. In our projects in Kenya, we're already advancing towards exploring detached houses. So very, very shortly, we're very sure that that would possibly be the case in Nigeria very shortly as well. So thank you so much to each and every one of you who took the time to join this webinar. We thank you, and we hope and believe that it's been a great time for you, as it has been for me. Thank you, Roberto. Your wealth of knowledge has been on display tonight. Thank you so much for gracing the occasion. Thank you for speaking very, very fluidly and eloquently about how formwork is the way to go and why Universal One Apartments will be the best deal in town on every metric. Thank you so much, Roberto. And we look forward to having you in subsequent webinars. Thank you so much. And I just want to once again thank every single person who registered and who took the time to join this webinar. We will reach out to you. We'll send you emails with further details on Universal. And obviously we'll send you a link to this video, which will also be uploaded to our YouTube page. So if you want to rewatch it, and you have any further questions or you want to book a site visit, please feel free to reach out to us. We'll be more than willing to do that for you. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a very, very lovely evening. All right, then. Good night. Bye.